Hey there, it's Todd Sokolove from ForcesOfGeek.com, and with me is the legendary horror meister, Kane Hodder.
Legendary horror meister.
You said you were stuntman, actor, ghost chaser, and now author of the new book, Unmasked. It's a nice cold evening here in Times Square where you took Manhattan as Jason.
The single most amazing day of shooting I've ever had in 35 years was shooting Friday night in Times Square at 10 p.m.
It was actually a Friday night, but not the 13th.
No, but it was unbelievable just how many people had to be held
back on the side streets. Now I heard a lot of people did come out to see Jason because that was the first time that Paramount had actually shot a film in a public place, really.
And it was the last 2 days of shooting of principal photography, so we shot most of the movie in Vancouver, came here for 2 days, stayed right there at the marquee so I could walk out of my hotel room, go to the set. My dressing room was under that Budweiser sign. You see the windows?
So just about like 44th Street, 44th and Broadway?
I guess, yeah. It was pretty cool, though. It was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. So why now for the book? When you read this book, you have so many great personal stories, as well as there's, of course, the industry stories, but there's just so many personal stories in this, and you're so candid with them. I'm just curious, at what point, was this something you were thinking about doing for a while, or...?
Well, I had always thought I would tell my story at some point because there were so many good, fun things on the set during the horror stuff, the stunts, a lot of things that were cool.
Right.
And then a lot of stuff in my background that was hard to talk about, like the burn injury and the fact that I was bullied when I was a little kid. And I never found someone that I could trust that would write my story the way I wanted to tell it.
Right.
And I met Mike, and we hit it off. We had a good chemistry, and he wrote a very good, perfect portrayal of my life.
I went and saw this new film from Ty West. The new movie is called The Innkeepers, but he's known for The House of the Devil. And one of the things that he said was the first horror film that he ever saw was House, which you were a stunt coordinator on.
Wow.
And it really kind of hit me as there's this whole new generation, because, I mean, I was a kid, I was a teenager when House came out, but he was clearly younger. And I'm just wondering what you think about this sort of new generation that's coming up and appreciating horror in a totally different way.
And just the fact that he says House is a horror movie is kind of funny because it's really a comedy with some, horror aspects to it. But, it is a different generation. I grew up with, even The Exorcist and things like that. So
don't worry, he said The Exorcist was his favorite, so.
And it is mine as well.
Yeah.
But, it's just a different whole generation of people there's people that their first movie they saw was the Saw franchise, which I still like them. I'm sorry. People are tired of them. I'm not. I'm
kind
of
missing that there isn't a new one this Halloween, to be honest with you.
I know. It's I always enjoy them.
Yeah. And you've worked with Adam Green many times as well, and he's another one of this new generation. He does the intro in your book. When you did Hatchet, do you guys talk about horror films on set? Was there sort of were you pulling from other things? Were you pulling from your career?
Well, I mean, certain things we did, kind of pulling from certain things he liked that I did in my career, but with the Hatchet movie, he had this character in his mind since he was 8 years old. So it was kind of cool for me to portray something that he grew up with. And he, in my opinion, is a genius. Pure and simple. He's a great writer, an amazing director. One of those guys that was born with the talent. He didn't have to learn it. And because he was good from the very first thing he ever did, so
that's great. And there are plans for Hatchet 3, as rumored.
Yes, we are going to do Hatchet 3. I believe Danielle is coming back. That's good.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it. And I haven't seen a script or anything, but I understand certain things about it are going to be very cool.
Oh, cool. Maybe a little more backstory of Victor.
Hopefully.
For you.
And Mr. Crowley.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the kid has a hockey mask on.
Oh, there you go. See, now I'm always curious. Did your sons ever dress up as Jason for Halloween, or did?
Yeah,
really?
they did.
And did you tell them that they were doing it wrong, or like, do you go up? Could you go up to him and give him hints? Or?
No, it's everybody's. Has their own take on it, so that's fine. I think it's pretty cool to see somebody wearing a hockey mask, though.
It's great.
Not that I originated the character,
right,
but.
Right. But it is kind of wild to see how mainstream it's all become,
If you only knew, right?
If you only knew.
Cool.
You probably,
40 feet away is the guy that played that character that you're mad. I just think
maybe someday that kid will grow up to be Jason in part 20 or whatever we get up to.
As long as I'm dead, because I'm not, I'm not giving up my hope of coming back.
What about the ghost hunting? Because I'm really curious about the tease of it in the book and the possibility of doing a book just devoted to this. Now, is this something that you primarily do in Hollywood? Or you take it on the road?
Everywhere. Our group is completely comprised of people that work in horror films.
Would you ever do Times Square, New York? Would you do New York?
Is it haunted?
It's haunted.
Really?
Absolutely. I'll send you the stories.
It's haunted by idiots sometimes I see, but...
Do you think half the people here might be ghosts, actually?
Or maybe psychologically depraved. All I can say is...
Does that feel real?
Forces of Geek.